Have you ever felt a shiver down your spine? A strange certainty that something you remember clearly, vividly even, is different now?
You are not alone in this peculiar experience, this unsettling phenomenon where large groups of people share a distinct memory of something that apparently never happened or was different from how it is now, has a name. It is called the Mandela Effect. It makes us question the very nature of memory and sometimes even the reality we inhabit.
It is a modern mystery born in the digital age but echoing far older questions about what we know and how we know it. The term Mandela Effect itself has a fascinating origin story. I coined it myself back in 2009. This happened after I discovered that I, along with many others, shared a very specific, very clear memory. We remembered former South African President Nelson Mandela dying in prison during the 1980s. We recalled news clips, perhaps even television footage of his funeral.
The shock came when we learned that, in this reality, Mandela was very much alive. He was released from prison in 1990 and passed away much later, in 2013. The discrepancy was startling and widespread, too significant to be dismissed as simple forgetfulness.
This collective misremembering of such a prominent global event was the catalyst. It made me realize that this wasn't just about one person's faulty memory. It was a shared experience, a group of people holding on to a past that official records, and indeed the present world, denied. The more I discussed it online, the more people came forward with similar experiences about other things. It was as if a hidden layer of shared alternative memories was slowly being uncovered.
The Mandela Effect became a label for this strange shared cognitive dissonance, a starting point for exploring these mind-bending discrepancies. The core of the Mandela Effect lies in this collective nature. It is not one individual misremembering a minor detail from their childhood. Instead, it involves numerous, often unrelated people, all recalling the same specific, incorrect detail with a high degree of confidence.
This shared conviction is what makes the phenomenon so compelling, and for some, so deeply unsettling. It challenges our assumptions about the reliability of our minds and the stability of the world around us, making us pause and wonder about the truth behind our most cherished recollections. It opens a door to questions that science struggles to answer definitively.
One of the most iconic examples, and one that truly resonates with countless individuals, concerns a beloved series of children's books. Many people across the globe have an unshakable memory that the charming bear family was called the Berenstein Bears, spelled with an E-I-N at the end. They can almost see the book covers in their mind's eye with that specific spelling.
Yet, if you were to find one of these books today, or look up any official merchandise, you would discover the name is, and apparently always has been, the Berenstain Bears, spelled with an A-I-N. This small difference causes immense debate, and a feeling of unease for those who remember it differently.
Another incredibly famous instance comes from the world of cinema, specifically the epic space opera Star Wars. Millions recall the villainous Darth Vader uttering the chilling line, "Luke, I am your father," during a climactic confrontation. This phrase has been quoted, parodied, and referenced in popular culture for decades. However, if you watch the actual scene from The Empire Strikes Back, the line spoken by Darth Vader is subtly different. He actually says, "No, I am your father."
While the sentiment is similar, the exact wording that so many remember with absolute clarity simply isn't there, leaving fans puzzled and questioning their auditory memory.
Then there is the curious case of the Monopoly Man, Rich Uncle Pennybags. Picture him in your mind. Does he wear a monocle over one eye? A vast number of people would confidently say yes, he absolutely does. They can visualize that distinguished gentleman with his top hat, cane, and crucially, a monocle. Yet the character, as officially depicted by Hasbro, has never worn a monocle.
This visual discrepancy is particularly baffling because a monocle seems to fit his persona so perfectly, leading many to believe their memory must be correct, even when faced with evidence to the contrary. It is a classic example of a shared visual misremembering.
Lastly, consider the popular American peanut butter brand. Many individuals have strong memories of it being called Jiffy peanut butter. They might recall the jingle, the label, the taste, all associated with the name Jiffy. However, no such major national brand has ever existed under that exact name. The prominent brand is, and has always been, Jif.
This is not a subtle spelling difference, but an entirely different word for some. For those who remember stocking Jiffy in their pantries, The current reality feels like a strange alteration, a small but significant shift in the details of their everyday lives, adding another layer to this intriguing puzzle.
When confronted with these widespread memory discrepancies, the scientific community generally leans towards more conventional psychological explanations. One prominent theory is confabulation. This is where the brain, faced with gaps in memory, unconsciously fabricates details to create a coherent narrative. It's not lying, as it's not intentional, but rather the mind's attempt to make sense of incomplete information. Over time, these fabricated details can feel as real as genuine memories.
This could explain why so many people might remember a monocle on the Monopoly Man. It simply fits the image of a wealthy tycoon from that era, so the brain might add it in. Another key concept from psychology is the idea of source monitoring errors. This occurs when we correctly remember a piece of information but incorrectly remember the source of that information.
For instance, someone might have heard a parody of the Star Wars line as Luke, "I am your father" so many times that they misattribute it to the original film. Suggestibility also plays a significant role. If many people online are discussing the Berenstain Bears, others might become convinced they remember it that way too, even if their original memory was hazy. Our memories are not perfect recordings. They are malleable and can be influenced by external factors.
However, these scientific explanations, while logical, don't fully satisfy everyone who has experienced the Mandela Effect. For some, the clarity and shared nature of these alternate memories feel too profound to be dismissed as simple errors of the mind. This has led to more speculative and admittedly more dramatic theories.
One popular idea draws from concepts in theoretical physics, suggesting the possibility of parallel universes or alternate realities. In this view, the Mandela effect occurs when individuals somehow slip between realities, or when realities merge, bringing with them residual memories from a timeline where things were indeed different.
The notion of alternate realities suggests that the Berenstein Bears or Nelson Mandela's earlier death were actual facts in a different universe, and those who remember them this way are retaining echoes from that other existence. While there is no concrete scientific evidence to support this as the cause of the Mandela effect, it offers a tantalizing explanation for the vividness and shared nature of these experiences.
It speaks to a deeper human fascination with the what-ifs of existence and the possibility that our perceived reality is not the only one. It transforms a memory glitch into a potential glimpse beyond the veil of our known world.
In summary, the Mandela effect presents us with a fascinating conundrum. It is a phenomenon where large swaths of the population share distinct memories of events or details that contradict all available evidence in our current reality. From the spelling of a children's book series to iconic movie lines and the passing of public figures, these collective misrememberings are both perplexing and widespread. They force us to confront the intricate and sometimes fallible nature of human memory, a cornerstone of our individual and collective identities.
It is a modern mystery that continues to spark debate and curiosity across the globe. We have explored two main avenues of thought when trying to understand these occurrences. On one hand, scientific and psychological explanations point towards cognitive biases, such as confabulation, source monitoring errors, and the power of suggestion. These theories posit that our brains, in their constant effort to create coherent narratives, can sometimes fill in gaps or misattribute information, leading to these shared false memories, especially amplified in our interconnected digital age.
These explanations ground the phenomenon firmly within the workings of the human mind, suggesting our recollections are more constructed than we might like to believe. On the other hand, more speculative theories entertain the mind-bending possibility of alternate realities or parallel universes. This perspective suggests that these are not misrememberings at all, but rather genuine memories from a slightly different timeline or dimension that has somehow intersected with our own.
While lacking empirical proof, this idea resonates deeply with many who find the clarity and shared nature of their Mandela effect experiences too powerful to be mere cognitive errors. It opens up a world of imaginative possibilities about the very structure of existence and our place within it. Ultimately, whether the Mandela effect is a product of quirky brain functions or a hint of something far stranger about the universe, it serves as a potent reminder. It reminds us that our perception of reality and the memories that construct it might be more fragile and more subjective than we often assume.
It challenges us to question what we believe to be true and to consider the profound mystery that still surrounds consciousness and the universe itself. So the next time a memory feels undeniably real, yet clashes with the world around you, perhaps pause and wonder, whose reality are you truly remembering?